Moshe. Hashem. Okay. Zok the Heilige Mishnah. Shor shenogach es ha'adam. Shor shenogach es ha'adam umeis. A shor shecht a person, shechted. A shor stoist a person, and the person died. So we know muad mishalem koifer. If this shor is a shor muad, it will pay koifer. The question that Gemara is going to deal with is how did it ever become a muad if it gets killed as soon as it kills someone? The tam potter min koifer. If it's a tam, it's potter from koifer. V'zeh v'zeh, but it doesn't make a difference if it's a tam or a muad that's shtoist chayav and misa. So we're going to have to see if it's chayav misa the first time. How is it possible that it ever shtoist the third time? V'chein beven v'chein bevas. Even if it's shtoist a minor, there's still a chiv to be koifer. Nogach ever ama. What if it's shtoist an ever or an ama? Then noisen shloishim sloyim. Then the owner of the ox pays 30 sloyim to the owner of the ever or ama. Vein shu yafa mana uvein she'eni yafa ela dinar echad. It doesn't matter what this eved was worth. It's a prescribed amount that the Torah tells us, 30 sloyim. Unlike regular koifer, which pays either the demei nizik or the demei mazik, as we learned yesterday. Okay, gewaltig. Fact the Gemara. Since we kill this animal the moment it's a tam, how did this animal ever become a muad? I'll tell you how this happened. In fact, it didn't actually kill 3 people, but it was running after 3 people. And had it caught those 3 people, it would have killed them. As Rashi says, but they got away. The Omdu and the Bezdin made a Umdana, they assessed, if they wouldn't have gotten away, the animal would have killed them. That will make it into a mood. Ravashi Amar, Umdana lav kulumhu. What do you mean Umdana would have stopped? That doesn't mean anything. Or shesikein gimel bnei adam. It actually stoys 3 people, but they didn't die. Lefichach leiniskal b'shnayim harishonim. But when it stoys the third, meisukula, they all died. So now retroactively we see that this animal in fact killed 3 times. Hilchach mishalom alav hakoifer. Okay. No, it has to be killed. Yeah, in order for it to be a mood to kill people. So Amar Abzir doesn't like that because weiter it's oh no, I'm not sure why Abzir doesn't like that. I'm going to take a step back. The Gemara is going to discuss it. Abzir Amar Kalon Shaharak Shloisha Behemoths. It starts 3 animals. So similar to what Dovi is suggesting. Pray to Gemara Umud LeBehema. Have a muad la'adam. Are you going to tell me that Reb Zvid holds that just because it became a muad to shtois behemoths, it will also be a muad to shtois people? Ella Amar Absimi, we're going to argue and we're going to say Kagon Shaharag Shloisha Oivdei Kechavim. The ox killed 3 goyim. Frank the Gemara Muad Loivdei Kechavim. Have a muad Yisrael. That's not either true. Ella Amar Abshun ben Lakish. I'm not sure why an ox would be more afraid of a guy of a yid than it will be of a guy. I know dogs definitely are not afraid of yidden, but they're afraid of goyim. So I'm not sure how that works. Ella, Amar Abshur ben Lakish, Kigon Charik Shloisha ben Adam Treifa. It dies 3 people who were Treifa, and therefore you don't kill the ox because the person who was a Treifa anyway. Practic Gemara, mood la Treifa, have a mood la Shalem. Are you telling me that if an ox is a mood to shtois a treifa, it's also a mood to shtois a healthy person? Ella Amra Papa, the katal va'arak la'agma, the katal va'arak la'agma. It shtois and ran away, so they Bezdin couldn't kill it. Avada was chayiv misa, but before they were able to be mechayiv at misa, it shtois 3 times. Ravacha Bared Ravika Amar. So this is a very fascinating hechatimsa. So let's see Rashi, how Rashi explains it. So first, you can see there's a gears of change. The question is if the first 3 times is a time and the 4th time it's a mu'ud, or if after 2 times it becomes a mu'ud and the 3rd time is when you pay nezek shalim. So our Rashi's gear says 2 and 3, but there are those who change the gears to 3 and 4. So kishanagach beis negichos rishaynos, it dies twice and it killed twice. Vehidaboy beis kitos edom, and 2 sets of edom came who want to say this animal stoiced and killed on Monday, and another set of edom came and said that this animal stoiced on Tuesday. And then on Tuesday, after the second edom came, bo kat achas v'izimo, one kat edom came and said, Reuben and Shimon, you're edom that say the ox stoiced on Monday on Bathurst and Lawrence in Toronto. How is that possible? It was Shabbos Chanukah. We were all together in Florida at our complex. You wouldn't have been caught dead floating around in Toronto on Shabbos Chanukah. And you guys, Levi and Yehuda, who came to say Eidos that this ox stoiced on Tuesday we were with you in Barbados. So it has to be a China that you saw this animal stoice. So right now we're not killing this animal. Ufa true. We're not killing this animal because we have Eidim that were mazim the first 2 sets. Then there was a 3rd stoisum. Ve'idavoy and Yisach and Yizvulun came to say Eidos that this animal stoiced the 3rd time on Wednesday. Vasa kat hamazemes, another kat came to be mazim them, lazimam to be mazim them. V'huzma oisa kat af al hazamosh rishonos. So what happened is the set of Edom that said that Reuven and Shimon were Edom Zaymimin, and that said that Levi and Yehuda are Edom Zaymimin, that Edom came down to be Zaymin. You're telling me you were with this guy in Florida on Monday, and you were with those guys in Barbados on Tuesday. You were sitting in Lakewood. So the whole thing is fake. So now v'nimtza shar mu'ud. Now retroactively the shar is mu'ud because the 2 sets of Edom that say Edus on the first 2 negiches, they've revived their validity, and now this 3rd set of Edom combines with them. And therefore, he would pay kofer for the 3rd violation. Okay, this makes a lot of sense. If the whole purpose of a shara mud is to say that this animal is predispositioned to kill, therefore we're going to make it pay kofer, shopper, it makes sense to stella in this case, the case where a shara, even though it's going to get killed, there's still a tashlumin of kofer because it was clearly an ox that was predispositioned to kill. If the purpose of the 3 times is so that the owner has warning, so that he can prepare and protect it properly, here he didn't have that because it all happened in one fell swoop. Meimer Amr Loi Yadana. You see that the 2 Edom were Zaymin, so I never knew that my animal stoys. So I was never on high alert. So how could you be mechayiv me with kofer? So the Gemara, going to Amri, the Edom said, Kol Emas, the Katel Ture, every Eid said, the Edom that was reestablished their credibility, they said, not stop, I saw Chaim Yankel's ox, Stois, at Lawrence and Bathurst. Chaim Yankel was standing right there. So clearly, whether or not the Edom was accepted in Bezdin, he saw that his animal is a wild animal, and therefore, and therefore, he should have known that this animal needs to be watched, even though there wasn't a psak best. Ravina Amar b'makirin bala shor vein makirin ashor. What happened is they knew Reuben had a whole bunch of oxen, and they knew one of Reuben's oxen shtoist, but they couldn't identify with clarity which ox it was. And when it happened the 3rd time, then they chapped, yes, this is the ox that shtoist not only this time, but also the 2 previous times. So Frek Tamar, once again, my Hava Leila Mevet, what is the owner supposed to do? He himself has no idea which animal to watch carefully because they couldn't identify which animal it was. So Tamar, he's still chayiv, mishum amrlei tur nachana islach bibekarcha. In your herd, you have a dangerous ox. You have to watch your entire herd because of the fact that you know there's even one wild animal amongst them. So we have a whole bunch of different ways where it's possible for an animal to shtosh 3 times and still be alive for the 3rd time. The animal has to get killed regardless. This is a chazara. We actually learned this whole sugya before. It says an animal that kills a person, you have to stone the shore. So let me ask you, if you stone the shore, is its meat edible? Avada not, because it wasn't shechted properly. It's an avela. So why does the Torah say after Sakla Shar, the Torah says, V'lo ye'achel es b'sarei? Any idea shen avela hi, nevela asur b'achila? So my time at learning lo ye'achel es b'sarei. Magid l'chachasov. This extra lo ye'achel es b'sarei is teaching us a chiddush. Shem shachtoi lacha shenigmar dina. What if Bezin says this animal needs to get killed? And the owner quickly went and shechted it ka'alocha. You still cannot eat it. Osir b'achila, it's still osir to be eaten, because that's what the lo yachal es b'sarei is telling you. Sakal is telling you you have to kill it, and of course you can't eat it. But even if you shecht it, lo yachal es b'sarei.
Instead of stoning it.
Correct. We only know from what we learned so far that there's an isser to eat the meat of a shor niska, or a shor that got shechted. But b'hano minayin. How do we know that the owner is not allowed to have any benefit from this meat? He can't serve it to his dogs. He can't sell it to a goy. How do we know that that is the case? Talmud loimer ubal hashor noki. The bal hashor is clean. My mashma. How do you see from bal hashor noki that the bal may not have any hanoah from this animal? Imagine you tell your friend, look at Yankel. He was cleaned out. Right? Cleaned out means he doesn't have anything left. Yosy ish ploini noki min achasov, and therefore ve'ein loy bahem hana shel klum. He has zero benefit from them. He lost it all. He lost the plane. He lost the limo. He lost the villa. He lost everything. So Zok to Gemara, therefore, Bala Sharnaki is telling you the Isra no. Correct the Gemara, who said that this is the way to analyze these psukim? Let's suggest an alternate way. How do you know such a huge chiddush that if you shecht it after the Gemar Din, it's also b'achila? Maybe maybe it would be mutter b'achila. What is v'lo yachalas b'sari coming to teach you? The high lo yachalas b'sari is teaching you lahecha disaklei misakol to asubano, just to tell you that it's asubano. So maybe lo yachel is only telling you that it's asubano. So we're going to have to find another purpose for uval hasharanaki. But maybe lo yachalas b'sari is telling you that it's asubano. How in the world do you see from the words lo yachalas b'sari that it should be asubano? So the Gemara Kedar Bava, because Bava taught us that lo yachel indicates an iser hano. Anytime the Torah uses the following phraseology, lo yachel, lo soichel, or lo soichlu, it automatically means echad iser achila, the echad iser hano b'mashma, unless the Torah specifically tells you that it's a mutter b'hana. And that is leger b'nesina uloy v'tchavim b'mechir. By nevela it says it's a nevela, you're not allowed to eat it, and then the Torah adds on, give it to a ger, give it to a goy. The Torah has to give you advice what to do. It must be that if the Torah would not have said that you could have a no from it, that you can give it to a ger, and that you give it to a goy, you would have thought that it's osur b'ano. Because loy soichel, loy soichlu, loy yachel all indicate iser ano as well. The loy yachel is besori by Shar Niskal would also be telling you that it's an iser hano, and then they don't need a vala sharnoki. But I also don't know that if you shechted the animal before it was niskal, I don't know that that would be awesome. Zok to Gemara, that's not going to suffice. Amri hanamili heichid enofik le iser achila biser hano. Mikra milo yochel. Yes, when the Torah is trying to tell you about an Isra Achila, and it just says lo yochel, there I will say that the Torah means to aser it not only bi'achila, it also is asering it bihana. But in our case, the lo yochel isn't even telling you an isra achila, because I already know the isra achila from the sakel yisakel, because you can't eat an animal that's an avela. So all I need is a pasuk to tell me isra no. So let the Torah speak straight. So let the Torah say what it means. If the Torah is trying to tell you what Isra Achila and Isra No, okay, so the Lo Yochel could include both. But if all the Torah is trying to tell you is don't have enough, just say don't have enough. Why say Lo Yochel? So therefore, the Gemara says something doesn't make sense. Inami Lo Yochel, or if it says Lo Yochel, Besori Lamali. Why does it say Besori? That's also extra. The afal gav, the obde ke'ein basar, the shachte aser. It must be that there's an extra limud to be extracted from this pasuk, and that limud is that even if you shech the animal, it will still be aser b'achil. So what we've accomplished now is that we know everything from Sokel Yisakel Ashar Ubal Ashar Naki. Sokel Yisakel Ashar tells me it's aser b'achila, it's an avela. Lo Yachel is going to tell you Isra Anoah, but why didn't the Torah say Lo Yehenna? Because Lo Yachel is also teaching us Isra Achila if you shechted it. So therefore, I know everything. I know Sai Yisur Achila, Sai Yisur Anoah, and Sai and Isur to eat it, even if you shechted it. I know that all, and I don't need Uvala Sharnoki. So now we're going to have to find something to do with the words of Uvala Sharnoki. Maska Flo Marzutra. Marzutra asked the kasha. Maybe when do you say that if you shechted it, it's still going to be asur b'hana, it's still going to be asur b'achila? That's maybe if you shechted it with a rock. Heicha de badak b'tzur, you avoided a rock, v'shachet boy, and you shechted it with a rock. Why is shechting with a rock unique? Because the object against skila. Maybe you could say that it was killed with a rock, so it was killed with skila. That's why it's asur b'hana. But if it was shechted with a proper chalif, lo yamri, maybe there wouldn't be an isra. Zoktum, that's not logical, because nowhere does it say in the Torah that shechita has anything to do with a sakin. Otu sakin, siva b'araisa, any sharp object. So it's the same shechita with a stone as it would be with any other sharp object. There's no svara whatsoever to make that distinction. But tanan b'nichusa, hashoichet b'makal yad, some type of sickle, bitzur, a rock, uvakana with a sharp reed, shechitasik shera. There's nothing special about a knife that makes it better for shechita.
It's a raya from Moshe Rabbeinu.
By the bris.
When he did the bris meal on his son, just took a rock.
Yeah, but yeah, it's just Chaim is speaking out that she did.
Oh, she did
it. Okay. Now that we've extracted all the information we need from just the pasuk of lo yeyochelas b'sarei, bal hashar noki lamri. Why did the Torah tell us that by ashar nisko the bal hashar is noki? To tell you that not only can you not have enough from the meat, maybe the hide you'd be able to have enough from. Kamash Milan, that the owner cannot even have enough from the hide. I would have thought dafka the meat of this ox is asher bano, but it's hide nishteri bano. It should be mutter. Kamash malon bal ashar noki. Frank the Gemara lahanach tanoid mafkile lahai bal ashar noki ledrosh rachrina. Come on, we're going to find tanoim later on that use bal ashar noki for something else. How are they going to know that it's also to have enough from the hide of a sharan niskol? Hanaras oirai minalu. Zakgemora navkalu me es besarai. Then the extra es hatafalu besarai. So now we're in to the drush of es is es marba, something similar to the issue that the Torah is talking about. So here we want to say es habesarai, es besarai. S is including an Isra no on something that's similar to the basar, that's tuffle to the basar, subordinate to the basar, and that is the hide. Mine you are. Freik the Gemara of high Tana. loy darish. Does he behind Tana S loy darish? This Tana shouldn't darshan S. Kidatanya, like we learned. Shimon Amsini, Amrila Nechemya Hamsuni, Hayudarish Kol S in Shabbatayr. Every S in the Torah, he was Darish. Kivan Shagila S Hashem Alekachatira. How could you say something is like the Rebbeinu Shalom? How could you possibly say that? Pirish. So because of that, he had to say, no, S doesn't mean there's something subordinate to it that has the same status. So because of that, he had to stop all the S's. You can't say one S includes something subordinate and the other S doesn't. What's going to be with the alle gite frische Essen? What's it down with the frische Essen? Right? What happened with all those S's that you darshaned? Like I was makabel schar for the drisha, kach kibalti schar ala prisha. And the Mashal speaks out very nicely. Kibalt I hold, it's a chil Hashem to be matful, to tack on anything else. Takadosh Baruch Hu. So I'm getting schar, not for the. I'm getting schar of Es Hashem Lekechatira. I'm getting schar specifically for the mitzvah of Es Hashem Lekechatira by retracting my S, because by dashing the S, it would be violating Es Hashem Lekechatira. So it's gufa this mitzvah of Es Hashem Lekechatira that I'm going to be makabel schar from.
I didn't understand. For a minute, don't people have to be consistent? If you darshan Essen, that means you've got to darshan all.
Either all or nothing.
Yes.
Right. So he's retracting from all of the Essen that he darshaned in all of the Torah.
Oh, he's retracted all of. Okay.
Yeah. You know, there's a story where they once were walking by Beethoven's grave, and he was sitting up in his grave with a set of musical notes and an eraser, and he was erasing his musical notes. So they asked him, "What are you doing?" He says, "I'm decomposing." So he's retracting from all his essence. I'm sorry, my chemistry teacher told me that one. He used to do arrangers. The typical arranger joke. Like he would say, what happens if a bomb fell on the kitchen floor? Remember when we were growing up, what kitchen floors were made out of? What was made out of tile?
Oilcloth.
They were made out of linoleum.
Oilcloth.
So you say if someone drops a bomb in the kitchen, he gets linoleum blown apart. Okay. Zak the Gemara weiter. So Zak the Gemara weiter. So Pirish, Amla Talmid of Rebbe Koleshin the Rash Matai Len, Amla Kishem Shekibalti Schar ala Drisha, Kach Kibalti Schar ala Prisha. Until Rabbi Kiva came to the rescue, Achabar Rabbi Kiva v'limeid es Hashem lekecha tira l'rabois talmidei chachamim. And the Mashal explains, it's not pshat the covet for the talmidei chachamim take away from the Rebbeinu Shalom. Adrabah, why are you mechabed talmidei chachamim? Not because it's a covet for them. You're showing you have such respect for the Rebbeinu Shalom that you're even mechabed the talmid chacham. So it actually is it's a way. It's a way of being mechabed the Rebbeinu Shalom by being mechabed talmidei chachamim. So it's not a violation of kavod Hashem to be mechabed talmidei chachamim. Adrabah, that shows that you're mechabed the Rebbeinu Shalom, and therefore he redarshened the S.
Isn't he Nagaya B'Dover? He's saying basically he should have covered for me.
Yeah, but I guess he had good what's it called professional integrity.
I hope so.
Okay, Gewalt. I once heard a very interesting shot.
Today's daf or just yesterday's daf?
We're learning today's stuff now. So I once heard a very interesting vart from Dudi Samuels. He said over a beautiful vart. It says that when Rivka had a problem with his right, Shabana Bekirba, Vatimer Lama Imkain Lama Ze Anoichi, Vatelech Lidrois Es Hashem. So her taina was, I should have a pass on pain because I'm being mekayim the mitzvah of pruruvu. So it's brought down that a woman is not mechuyev in pruruvu, but the first child she has is still a mitzvah of l'sheves. So therefore, the first baby that she has should not give her pain. Well, how do you know that she shouldn't have pain just because she's doing a mitzvah? It's because it says in the Torah, when you go to be Oila Regel, imagine all of the men of the land are Oila Regel. There's no men around to protect the land. Hamas will come in and make a major attack. How could you be Oila Regel? So there's Haftacha from the Rebbeinu Shalom. No one's going to want to come and attack you. And S is darshan over there. S okay, they won't take your land, but they might steal your things. They might steal your animals. They might steal your nechosim. So S not only will no one come and steal your land, nobody will even come and take any possessions you have. So there you see that shluchim mitzvah enin nizukin loy balichosim v'loy b'chazirosan. And she felt, Rivka, that it's that S that should protect her from pain. She's a shliach mitzvah. She's bringing a baby into the world. So therefore, lidrus es Hashem. Do we darshan es Hashem? Do we darshan es Shabbatayah, or don't we darshan es Shabbatayah? Because if we do, I shouldn't be having this pain. So they told her, your pain isn't because of the first one. In talk of the first one, you might be immune. Your pain is for the second one. And that answered her shaila.
So what's the second one?
Because for a woman, the mitzvah is only on the first. Tanu Rabbanan, Uvala Sharinoki.
Pri was set to both, not.
Puruvu is not. The Gemara told us that.
And Pri V is both. That's why it says Pri is one and Revi is more than one.
But the Gemara says that a woman is not mitzvah and Puruvu. Tanu Rabbanan, Uvala Sharinoki. Rabbi Eliezer Omer. What does Noki mean? Noki mechatzi koifer. He's so how does he dash Uvala Sharinoki? If you remember, we said earlier that we have an extra Uvala Sharinoki. You might use it for Noki to tell you that Hanas Ara is Asr. We had S to say Ara is Asr, but there's a possibility that Noki is needed to tell us something. So Noki could also be Noki mechatzi koifer, meaning a tam doesn't pay koifer, only a mood. Amalei Rabbi Kiva, I don't understand. Why do I need a pasuk to tell me that a tam doesn't pay chatzi koifer? We know a tam only pays megufoi. This animal's getting killed. There is no megufoi to collect from. Let the mazik tell the nizik, heviyu lebesin v'shalmach. No problem. Here's the ox. Go get paid out of it. Go sell it. It's going to get killed. That's not my problem. That's your problem. So why do I need a pasuk to say that a tam is part of chatzi koifer? Amalei Rabbi Lazar. What do you think? I'm stupid. Shadini misa. I'm talking about a case that the Torah has to tell you that you're part of chatzi koifer when the animal's going to get killed. Of course not. Ein dini elakishahemis es adam al piedachod al pi bailam, and therefore there is no chiyuv misa. If you don't have two edim, there's no chiyuv misa, and it's there where I'm contemplating if you pay chatzi koifer, and it's there that I need a pasuk that says Nachi Mechatzi Koifer. Frank Gemara, I pay Rachad, I understand. But Al Pi Bailam, Moed V'Knasu. For sure there shouldn't be Koifer, because if it's Al Pi Bailam, we know Moed V'Knas is Potter. Zok Gemara, Kasover Kufar Kapara. And therefore, Zok Rashi, Lefichach Eloi Mate, if he didn't have a pasuk that says Noki, that the owner of a short time is Potter from Chatzi Koifer, Havamin Lachayiv, Bein Beirechad, Bein Al Pi Atzmoi, we need him to have a kapara. It's not just a knas, and therefore you might have think he's going to pay chatzi koiver. Kamashlo Noki does not. Tan Yidach, Amalei Rabbi Eliezer, Akiva, Kachani Beinacha. What? That's how you look at me like I'm inadequate. Shadini, Vazeh Shechayv Misa. That the chiddush that I'm telling you that you don't pay chatzi koiver is in a case where the animal is chayv misa. Of course not. Ein dini al b'mischaben largas habehema. So there won't be a chiv koifer. There won't be a chiv misa because it wasn't planning to kill a adam, killed another by mistake, or the mitri v'harg Yisrael, or the nefelim v'harg ben kayom. So we had two conversations that happened between Rabbi Eliezer and Rabbi Kiva. In one conversation, Rabbi Eliezer responded, "I was talking about al pi edom or al pi atzmoi," and in the other conversation, he said, "I was talking about." Which teretz, in your opinion, is a better teretz? So Rashi tells us the second teretz is a better teretz. So the Gemara wants to high elaboration. Which of these two terutzim did Rabbi Eliezer tell Rabbi Kiva in the first conversation? Rav Khan Mishmei Rav Amar Mischaven elaboration. He said the second teretz that we quoted, Mischaven Argas Abeyman, that's why it was potter from Misa. Let's see Rashi. Mischaven Am Liberation, the Raya Gedoylehi. That's a much better teretz. The Lahai, Vada Yitzchukra. For that I surely need a pasuk that you don't pay Chatzi Kover. Avol Hemes Al Piyechad, Raya Katanahi. That's not such a good teretz. Why? The Ikala Isuve, Moed Beknas Potter. You see, the Gemara asked the Kasha on that teretz of Moed Beknas Potter. Uveidachanami Ikala Meimar Pshita Dloi Mechayev, the Trebeinan, because you need to aid him. La Fuki Mamonai, even to pay Mamon, you need to aid him. La Filu Gabamu Nami Potter. So therefore, the second teretz we quoted is a better teretz. So therefore, up to Vim Mishmei Rabba Amar, Hamis, I'm sorry, Kahana Mishmei Rabba said Mischaven Amar Liberation was a better teretz. Up to Vim Mishmei Rabba Amar Hamis Amar Liberation. The Shvacher teretz he said first. Of Kahana Mishmei Rabba Amar Mischaven Amar Liberation, the better teretz. Mashal Etzayit. Imagine you're fishing, and you only have room to take home a couple of fish. Sheshay the dogim in ayam, and you were catching fish. Mashkech Ravavri, Shakel. He caught some big fish. Of course, he's going to take them with him. Zutri, and if he finds small fish and he still has room, he'll continue to take. So there's nothing wrong with offering up a secondary teretz that's weaker, even though you've already offered up a more superior teretz. But you have to view me Mishmei de Rava Omar, Hamis Amalei Bereisha. He actually said the first pshat first, meaning the shvacher taina first. Mashal atzai sheshay the dogim in ayam, and he doesn't have a lot of space to carry it back. Meshkach zutri shakel. When he catches small fish, he thinks that's all he's going to get. Who he holds on to them. But mashkach ravavi, if then he catches a big fish, shadi zutri, he will throw away the small fish, the shakel ravavi, and he'll retain the big fish because he'd rather have a big fish. So that's the machlokes as to what teretz was offered up first by Rabbi Eliezer. Okay, Gavaltic. This is where I prepared to. So now we'll have to learn this together because we have a little bit of extra time. Tanya Idach, we learned in a brayso. Bala Shor Noki, Rabbi Yosy Aglu Omer Noki Midmei V'Lados. If you remember, the Gemara told us soon we're going to have additional limudim that these Tanoim learn from Noki. Bala Shor Noki Midmei V'Lados, meaning Nogach as a Isha v'Yatsu Yuladah, he doesn't have to pay for the Vlados. Amalei Rabbi Kiva, Harayu Omer, it says in the pasuk, Ki Natsu Anoshim, if people are fighting. And Rashi adds v'nok for Ishahara v'loy shvarim, and it's toist to Ishahara. Anoshim v'loy shvarim. It wasn't. We're not talking when we're talking about paying for the Dmei Vlados. The pasuk's discussing when a person killed the Vlados. We're not discussing a case where oxen killed the Vlados. So why do I need Noki to tell you that he doesn't pay the Dmei Vlados? The pasuk of Ki Nacha Noshim seems to indicate that if a shar kills Vlados, the shar doesn't pay for the Vlados. Zok Gemara Shapir Ka'amar Rabbi Kiva. Rabbi Kiva has a very good point. I still need a pasuk of Bala Sharnoki to pattern from the Vlados. So Kedai Chamina Anoshim V'Lishvarim Hadoimin LaNoshim. What type of shvarim are we excluding from the payment of the Dmei Vlados? Shvarim that are similar to people. What does that mean? Ma Noshim Mu'adim, Av Shvar Mu'adim. Just like a person is always a mu'ad, so too the type of shar that's going to be parted from the Dmei Vlados will be shvarim that are mu'ad. So Av Shvarim the pater lukra mu'adim the pater, but maybe aval tamin lechayvu hatam mechayiv. Maybe a tam would be chayiv for the Dmei Vlados. Because of Rachman Bala Sharnoki the potter, I need Bala Sharnoki. Tell that it's potter. Because of Bala Sharnoki, Lumemar, the Loider Shinin Noshim Lashvar Madam Lanoshim, El Tam Potter, Umuad Chayiv. Adarab, a Tam would be potter and the Muad would be Chayiv. Oh, so I misunderstood the limud. The Nokim with Mevladis means he has to pay the Mevladis. It's Nokim means he has to pay the Mevladis because the Chiddush is Kamash Malon, that the tam is potter and the muad is chayiv. Rashi says. The Bala Sharnoki is. You would have thought that if you wouldn't have said Bala Sharnoki, I would have thought a muad is potter and the tam is chayiv. Kamash Malan the opposite, that a tam is potter and the muad is chayiv. Right? That's what Rashi says. You would have thought that a tam is chayiv and the muad is potter. Kamash Malan the opposite, that a tam is potter and the muad is chayiv. Omar Rava, Zok Rava, what type of svara is that? Yitziva ba'ara, you're standing on the ground. The giyur b'shmei shemayim, you're shooting in temple. This doesn't make sense. Why would you say ever that a tam would be chayiv on the mevlados and a muad would be potter in mevlados? That's completely illogical. Why would you even have a havamina to say that? Elo Omar Rava Isrich. I'll tell you why you need a Baal Sharnaki to say that the shor that kills is paying the mevlados. A shor that kills velados pays the mevlados. Talkedai dechamina anoshim v'lishvarim hadoimim lanoshim. Again, when the Torah says a person who kills velados pays for those velados, it's excluding shvarim hadoimim lanoshim. What does that mean? Manoshim muadin, just like men are always a muad, and he doesn't pay, and he does pay the mevlados. Av shvarim muadin. So shvarim that are muadin, if it dies 3 times, the kalvachomer litamin diptiri, and it's posher that litamin should be potter. Had of koser achmon balashanoki to tell you that tam potter umuad chayiv. So the whole chiddush of balashanoki is that the muad is chayiv.
Maybe that's what Rashi's. Before, I don't think we were thinking that.
So maybe before we're talking that it's potter. Okay, so you know what? Let's go back. Okay, I hear. So let's do it again. So now that I learned wrong the first time, and you're saying Rashi's saying this last comment on what we just learned now. Okay, so let's learn it again so it's clear. Tanyidach, Balashanaki or Naki is Bevladi. She does not have to pay my blood. Amar Rabbi Kiva, Harayu Aimer Teski Nochadashim, Anoshim Velishvar. So we already know that a ox doesn't pay my blood. In fact, the more Shabbat Kamar Rabbi Kiva, that we already know that an ox does not pay the Mevlados. Amar Vulabi no Itzrich. So Kedai Chamina Anoshim Velishvar Madaim Lanoshim Dafka Muad is going to be potter from Mevlados. Manoshim Muadim Ashvar Muadim Hatam would be Chayiv, and the Balashanaki is telling you that the Tam is Chayiv because of the Balashanaki that the Tam is potter and the Muad is potter. Omar Rava says that doesn't make any sense. How could you suggest that a tam should be more chomer than the muad that we should need a pasuk to say that? So we should need a pasuk to tell us otherwise. Zok Gemara, Ella Omar Rava Itzrich. So Gedai Chamina Anoshim v'Lishvar Madem Anoshim, Anoshim Muadim Ashvar Muadim, the Kalvachomer the Tam and the Ptir, they should both be potter. How because of Echon Balashanoki that the tam is potter and the muad is chayiv. Okay, Gavalti. You can argue the same thing by boishes. What happening by boishes? So Rashi tells us the kaimalon shor shabayish potter. If a shor is mavayish somebody, it's potter. The nafkalon, and how do we know that a shor shabayish is potter? Because it says chiyinotzu anoshim yachtov ish v'achiv the karva ish v'chzika b'mavushav. Right? So it says the katzoy says kappa mamoin the hainu boishes. So we know that there's a chiyuv when a human causes someone boishes, there's a chiyuv to pay boishes. So elamayata gabe boishes nami name achi anoshim v'lo shvarim hadayim anoshim. What type of shvarim don't pay boishes? Only muadim. Ma anoshim muadim. Av shvarim muadim. The kalvachomer the tam and the ptiri, and kalvachomer tam should be potter from boishes. Hada kazer rachmana. Balashar Naki, Tam Potter Umud Chayiv. That it tells, so maybe you should learn from Balashar Naki as well that you should be that a shor should be mechuyev if it causes boishes. A shor amuid that causes busha, maybe it should be mechuyev to pay boishes.
Balashar Naki over there too.
No, maybe Balashar Naki by Kaifer. If Balashar Naki could be speaking about paying to mevlados, that's not Kaifer. So why can Balashar Naki be referring to boishes? We're applying it for something other than kaifer anyway. So maybe Balashar Naki will tell us that a shor amud pays boishes. If you want to argue that in fact a shor amud that causes boishes would be able to be a chiyuv for the balance to pay boishes, iachi lishni Balashar Naki, Rabbi Yosy Lili Omer, Pater mit Mevladois, Umiboishes. Why didn't Rabbi Yosy clearly say that? But if you look earlier to what Rabbi Yosy clearly said, what he actually said was mit Mevladois. He should have said Boishes as well. If you're going to make that same limud that you're making Lagabi Vlados, you're going to make it Lagabi Boishes as well. Alabaya v'Rav Damer Tevayu, Anoshim Davka, if a person killed these children, Ein Asam Be'isha Deyanshu, if the woman survives, so there's no Chiyav Misa there, they have to pay for the Dmei Vlados. Yesh Asham Be'isha, but if Chas Hashem, the woman dies, then Lo Yanshu, because there is Kamali B'Drabim name. But Lo Shvarim don't have that Patur. The Aval Gav, the Yesh Asain, even if the woman dies, there's no Chiyav Misa on a person. If his ox kills, Ya'anshu, they'll have to pay anyway. That's what I would have thought. Therefore, the animal should pay the Mevlados. So that's why you need Balashanaki to say that an ox that stoises is always going to be potter from the Mevlados. Okay, let's stop here because now I have to pair it about and a half tomorrow. Okay, shkoyach everybody. Have a wonderful day. I'll get the chodesh. Because I have to prepare this again. Shkoyach.